The desert sun had barely risen over Naval Base Coronado when Airman First Class Elena Ramirez took her post at Gate 7. She had been on duty for less than a month, her first real assignment since graduating security training. Her uniform was spotless, her salute crisp, and her confidence paper-thin. Most days, she just checked IDs, scanned vehicles, and endured the long hours of standing watch while the senior guards chatted about deployments she could only imagine. Elena was proud of her position, even if others didn't see it as much. Gate duty wasn't glamorous, but it was hers. Every person entering the base had to go through her, and she intended to do it by the book. That morning, though, something felt different. The air was tense. She had heard whispers of a classified exercise happening somewhere off the coast, something involving SEAL Team 3. The name alone carried weight. SEALs were legends here, ghosts who came and went without anyone knowing when or how. A black SUV approached the gate, tinted windows glinting in the sun. The kind of vehicle that screamed, high clearance. Elena straightened up, clutching her clipboard. As it rolled to a stop, she caught a glimpse of the driver, clean-cut, focused, and radiating authority. But it was the man in the backseat who caught her attention, tall, wearing fatigues with no visible insignia, eyes sharp as knives. "Morning, sir," she said, voice steady despite her nerves. "May I see your ID?" The driver passed forward a set of credentials. Elena checked them carefully, scanning each detail, her training running through her mind. The man in the back watched her, silent, unreadable. Something about the way he observed made her hyper-aware of every movement she made. After verifying the credentials, she handed them back. "You're clear to enter, sir." The driver nodded, but before he could move, the man in the backseat opened his door and stepped out. He was easily 6'2", built like someone who'd spent half his life carrying the weight of his team. Elena froze for a moment. "Airman Ramirez, right?" he said, reading her name tag without looking directly at it. His voice was calm, deep. "Yes, sir." He studied her, as though he already knew more than she realized. "You've been on post here less than a month." "Yes, sir," she replied again, unsure if she was being tested. He nodded slowly. Then, to her shock, he stepped back, and raised his hand in a salute. Elena blinked, momentarily frozen. Her instinct caught up, and she returned the salute immediately, her heart thudding. When he dropped his hand, the air around them felt charged. The driver looked confused. A few nearby guards, watching from the shade, exchanged glances. SEAL commanders didn't salute first, ever. The man's expression softened, almost imperceptibly. "You remind me of someone I used to know," he said quietly. She stood at a gate too, once. Same eyes. Same way of doing things exactly by the book. Elena didn't know what to say. "Thank you, sir," she managed. He gave a short nod. "Carry on, Airman." Then he got back into the SUV, and it drove through the gates, leaving her standing there, adrenaline pulsing through her veins. When the vehicle was gone, Staff Sergeant Daniels, her shift supervisor, walked up, eyebrows raised. "What the hell was that?" I'm not sure, Sergeant," Elena said, still processing. "He just saluted me." Daniels let out a low whistle. That was Commander Raines, SEAL Team 3's CO. "He doesn't salute anybody unless there's a reason." Elena frowned. "A reason?" Daniels shrugged. "Not my place to guess. But if Raines saluted you, kid, it means something." The rest of her shift passed in a blur. Rumors spread fast. By lunch, everyone at the gate had heard about it. The new airman saluted first by a SEAL commander. By evening, even the officers in the watchtower were talking. But Elena said nothing. That night, as she walked back to her quarters, she kept replaying his words. "You remind me of someone I used to know." 3 days later, a message came down from the command office. Airman First Class Elena Ramirez was to report to the training compound at 0600 for temporary reassignment. She didn't understand why. She wasn't even cleared for SEAL operations. But orders were orders. When she arrived, she was surprised to find Commander Raines waiting at the edge of the obstacle course. His presence commanded silence from everyone around. "Airman Ramirez," he said, stepping forward. "Glad you made it." "Yes, sir," she replied, snapping to attention. He gestured toward the course. "You've been reassigned for a 3-day evaluation. You'll be assisting in logistical drills, observation, and maybe, if you're up for it, participation." Her heart skipped. Participation, sir. Rains gave a faint smile. Don't worry. I'm not throwing you into the ocean just yet. The next 3 days pushed her to her limits. She ran communication drills, managed field gear, and shadowed SEALs during tactical setups. Every movement had to be efficient, every call precise. Though she wasn't part of the team, she felt their quiet respect. They didn't question her presence, Rains had vouched for her, and that was enough. On the final day, as the team prepared for a live simulation, one of the SEALs, Chief Petty Officer Trent Hawkins, walked beside her. You know, he said, the commander doesn't bring just anyone out here. I'm still trying to figure out why he did, she admitted. Hawkins smirked. Maybe because your name means something. My name. He nodded toward Rains, who stood briefing the squad. He served under a Captain Ramirez. Best logistics officer we ever had. Saved his entire team during a bad op in Kandahar. She didn't make it back. Elena's breath caught. Her mother had served in Afghanistan. A logistics officer, Captain Sofia Ramirez. She turned toward Rains, realization dawning. When the briefing ended, he caught her gaze and walked over. You figured it out. My mother, she whispered. You knew her. Rains nodded slowly. I didn't just know her. She saved my life. I've never forgotten that day. Elena swallowed hard, emotion rising in her throat. I didn't think anyone remembered her anymore. I do, he said. When I saw your name, I thought it was a coincidence. Then I saw how you carried yourself, like her. Calm, precise, no shortcuts. She would have been proud. For a moment, the sound of the wind filled the silence between them. She told me once, Rains continued, that real leadership isn't about rank. It's about respect, and courage when no one's watching. That's why I saluted you that day. Not because of who you were, but because of what I saw. Elena blinked back tears. Thank you, sir. He gave a slight nod. The gate may be where you started, Airman. But it's not where you'll stay. Mark my words. When she returned to Gate 7 the next week, something had changed. The same sun beat down, the same vehicles passed through, but the salute she carried now wasn't just protocol, it was legacy. Every time she raised her hand, she remembered her mother's courage and the commander's respect. She might have been assigned to the gate, but that salute, that moment, had rewritten her future.